Okay, I did an email about this recently, which is that you can understand yourself so brilliantly well. You can tell me everything that's going on, and you can still keep repeating the same thing you are hoping to avoid. You can still keep doing that thing that like really doesn't work for you. You can still be in a cycle. You can still self sabotage. You can still be in non action, in frozen state. So please let me know in the comments. Have you ever found yourself knowing or understanding exactly why you do something in your mind and then still finding yourself doing that thing? It is obviously extremely common. So I'm kind of joking. I'm thinking probably everyone has experienced this. If you haven't, also drop it in the comments. You're an incredible human being, or there's something seriously wrong with you, my friend. I'm not sure. But so, anyways, we know that insight is very valuable. We need to have knowledge and information about things, and that we know that like understanding stuff does help us, right? Sometimes you come to a great understanding and it changes the way that you interact with things. But I think the thing that we're missing is often that realization comes with an experience. And sometimes those experiences are like haphazard, random epiphanies. And so we trust that if we just keep journaling, a random epiphany is going to fall out. And then sometimes our tactics shift and something that used to work for us doesn't work for us. We create a mask, then our journaling voice is less authentic to ourselves, right? Has anyone done that? For me, sometimes I can be talking to myself in one way and forget that there's other voice, parts of me that are speaking up and just getting silenced because I'm like, oh, well, this other voice is saying such great things. It's just like really feeding me what I need. Okay, well, that's not actually that helpful. You're consciously understanding something doesn't actually update everything in your system, so all those deeper belief-based responses are still hanging on. That's actually what a lot of people don't understand. And I find it a lot in the spiritual community. People will be like, it's such a trap being here because, we're always just finding problems and healing what's wrong. And I'm so sick of that. And then not realizing that like their own addiction to drama or suffering or, their panic is coming from such a belief-based place on what they feel the world is like. That probably was in their head when they were like 3 years old or 2 years old. Like we just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. I say that a lot. You just don't know what you don't know. What you don't know is your subconscious. You don't know it. Otherwise, it would be the conscious, right? That's how that works. From the unknown to the known, from the non ordinary to the ordinary realm, this physical reality. So you might feel very capable. Okay, here's an example. I am very capable of being on video. I love talking. I actually love speaking so much. I woke up this morning going, I'm so excited to be on YouTube today because I just love speaking. And it felt like a child part of myself coming back online. So thank you, everyone, for letting me be reconnected with her. I know that I'm capable. I still found myself freezing quite a lot when I knew that visibility was the only thing standing in the way of being a little more comfortable or having what I need. And this, um, maybe this comfort that I had found in discomfort or playing small in some way was growing so uncomfortable. And yet my brain was not ready for the opportunity to actually enjoy and relax and feel calm. And I needed to do some real inner work on that. So that's why I stopped in the winter, spring this year, was to just stop and slow down and kind of go like, I can continue working towards my goals, but I don't necessarily need to show and prove that this whole time in order for that still to be true. Um, I need to make a lot of peace with the fact that there may be judgment, there may be concern, there may be disapproval from people for my taking that. And there was critique, there was distance, avoidance, there was confusion um, for people looking to understand. And for me too, there was also those things. So I know that rejection sensitivity also gets to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people, especially in the last year or two, where this is like a hyper feeling for them. So it's like, I know that this person is not actually leaving, but your whole body is then reacting as if they are in that one moment, which can feel extreme and intense, right? That doesn't explain why, like, logically, things, and then still your whole body is reacting to a very different belief or knowing and under the sea, subconscious knowing. And truthfully, not all our subconscious beliefs are appropriate for adult life or for your dream life or for you. And not all of the beliefs that you hold are working for you. That's a pain. So what can we do? Not all your subconscious beliefs are working for you. Well, we've got to dive deep. You dive somewhere. You go into a new experience of some kind. This is why I love doing intuitive oracle readings or hypnotherapy or shamanic healing, because these are all very different experiences where someone can tune back into their own receptive inner guidance. Something that I find extremely invaluable time and time again, no matter what it is I'm doing in life, even if I'm focusing on business more, or if I'm focusing on my personal life more, or if I'm focusing on my well-being, like it's always beneficial to spend time with your subconscious potential limitations or even the visions that are looking to come through from that non-ordinary place. You can also feel like really good at what you do, but then still be undercharging. And oh my gosh, do I see that everywhere, especially in the spiritual industry. I work with many spirit-led business owners, and it is such a challenge, especially because these times are challenging for a lot of people. So if you are finding yourself under financial distress, you might then think that you need to change everything because everyone else must be in your similar experience. And that's not true. There's a lot of people very comfortable right now. There's a lot of people who are investing in what it is they'd like to do with their lives. There's a lot of people making conscious choices about the experiences that they're calling in. There's a lot of people making big radical changes in their life. So a lot of people need our work. You also can have that feeling of like, I'm safe now, but I'm acting like I'm not safe. My feeling is that I'm not safe somehow. I used to, this is so wild. It's hard to imagine my brain has gone to these places. So sometimes I shake my head just like with like a confused, it's hard to understand and even believe that this is what I truly believed in my own mind. When I was like 20 years old, I remember sitting in an audio classroom in college, genuinely in full belief. Like there was no questioning it in my mental state at that moment, that the ceiling right above me was going to cave in, and it was this big cement ceiling. So I was going to pass away, and everyone around me, this is what I started worrying about. This is ridiculous. Everyone around me was going to be so stressed, and it was going to ruin everyone's lives and their days. And and also I would not be alive anymore. And I was like sitting there absolutely unable to listen to my teacher, because when you have that belief, it is very difficult to fight through to your conscious mind and relax your whole system. It was so strange how in that time I was really opening up to a lot of my psychic awareness and skills and dreams and things. And I was trying to dream a better life or existence for myself because I was quite in a dark place and quite scared. And so I realize now how much the conscious mind can still be trying to convince. I was telling myself, no, that's silly. No, no, that's not true. That's not going to happen. And look, it's a very solid, secure roof that's going to come in town and crash in on me, and then I will perish. It was like there was just no fighting the depth of that voice and the booming nature of those beliefs. Even though I'm sure a couple of days later I was like, whoa, that was wild. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense. It is a subconscious cross, a belief, some association that had landed in my mind that needed to come up, and surface. Deeper associations are generally running our other behaviors. So your beliefs get linked to, yes, your memories, also the emotions that you've had, right? Because one kid losing an ice cream and another kid losing an ice cream can have two very different reactions. And one can think he's a failure the rest of his life. And one can think he gets to try multiple flavors every time he goes to get ice cream. You know what I mean? He always gets two now, right? Like you can have totally different experiences of what seems like the same situation. So just your own emotions, your repetition, right? You build a case for a belief based on repeated facts, even though that doesn't necessarily indicate the actual probability. And we get into fallacies of thinking all the time over that. You also have beliefs that are linked to protecting you. Like I am safe if, I'm safe when, I am safe if I don't do this, do that. I am loved or accepted is also the same as I am safe. So I am loved if, I am accepted if I respond to everyone's needs. I am loved if I show and prove it consistently. I need to behave in this way in order to receive safety. And it also can be linked to identity. I'm just not this type of person, right? I'm really on people when they identify with something that they don't wish to be, and I know they don't wish to be. Like I'm just a disorganized person. And if they do not wish to be disorganized, I'm like, oh, ouchie. I don't believe that's true of you. Like, who helped you learn how to organize? You know, I yeah, I mean, I ask this question often, right? Like, who told you that? Or why is that true for you? Because sometimes what people come out with based on their beliefs is like, whoa, I just don't see the world in that way at all. Now, mind you, I've done a lot of stripping back any of my beliefs. So I've sort of built a fresh set, you know what I mean? I try not to take anything that doesn't feel absolutely true. I hope you also are looking to do that. And otherwise, all these videos are not going to be very interesting. Basically, your reactions can be super, super outdated and still feel extremely convincing and persuasive. They can be like very demanding on you. And the problem, isn't really a I don't understand myself. It's not really like you don't know who you are. It's like your whole operating system is organized around other conclusions, mechanisms, beliefs, right? Um, Hypnotherapy, like I mentioned, is very, very good at helping you to access the material underneath that conscious story that you have a grip on and can help us truly figure out when the belief actually formed. Because usually when we think it formed is not true. Otherwise, we would have already cracked the code. So we also would then look at what meaning has our subconscious mind associated with certain experiences, because we might have a memory. This has happened to me many, many times where I've had a memory of a certain situation and I've been like, oh, well, they were just meaning this and they just meant that. And that's just what that was. Or this person was just jealous and it's okay. And you try and like rationally explain yourself around something, and your beliefs and your emotions are actually holding a different teaching. So you might have said, well, that hurt my feelings because I felt left out. Actually, it was teaching you something very different. It could have been teaching you that you do not have confidence in your own skills. It's not that you're left out from others. It's that actually you didn't believe in yourself. And that's a very different belief than to uproot. Does that make sense? Hopefully. What the mind was trying to protect you from is very important, but is not key to how things move for you moving forward, right? The relief comes because you can address, oh, that's where it came from. So now I can change it. And I can just rewrite that right now. And that's why you need to be going through experiences rather than just accessing knowledge. That's why hypnotherapy, it's so beautiful because it really just brings you into a gentle, a gentle resting place. And I have a client who struggles a lot with sleep, and she had her Fit watch on. And she said that she was in a deep sleep state when we were in a hypnotherapy, but she was able to talk the whole time. So I was like, whoa. And she would have said that she feels like she had enough control to, if she needed to get up and do something, she could. So I find that really fascinating and really beautiful. And I want more and more people to experience what that could be like. Just a deep, deep relaxation. If that's all you get from our session, it would still be a mega win. Am I right? Like, don't we all need a little more relaxation? I think so. So I'm not really interested in like totally wiping your memories or just pretending, like faking a positive version of yourself or anything, which is why I think we got to go to the subconscious. We got to go to the real truth. The real truth is held in there. So some areas that I love working with people on, but also anything you bring me is cool. Like I've done a lot of cool ones. I've done smoking and weight loss and some of these like typical things that come up, and they're all really interesting to me because every single person is unique. Right now, I'm also really enjoying working with people on visibility or self-worth challenges. I love working with people on relationships and how they feel in love and with family and all those types of things. So much from our childhood builds up into our adult relationships. Also about like asking for boundaries or procrastination. Oh my gosh, I really love working with people on procrastination. It's so cool. So cool. Or like fear of success. That one I mentioned also earlier. I also love that. And confidence, or receiving in general. Like, why do I struggle with receiving? Let's go explore on the subconscious why it feels like that's not safe right now. And then that knowing and that experience being so deeply relaxed, and then my giving you a transformational recording for you to like uplift and listen to. I'm basically like spitting your dream life to you in a good way, like spitting bars, not spitting at you. Basically, sharing your dream life with you and your energetic dream state, where you would like to actually exist on feeling wise. And you can continue tuning into that whenever, because I give you that recording after the fact. So I love these sessions. I'm offering them for $333 through the end of this month. And so if you would like to step out of an old pattern, if you would like to feel like yourself again in a soft, gentle way, and if you'd like to just relax a little more deeply, go check that out. Or I have 30% off any one-to-one session with me this month. So if shamanic healing and journeying seems like it's more your style right now, it's funny that we went into the dark because shamans are the ones who see in the dark. I actually love that. I love when the lighting associates with my with what I'm saying. It's so cool. One of my guides does a lot of that, like weather interaction. And ever since I was a kid, I always found myself fascinated by how weather would change based on circumstance or feeling or need. I think there's a cool relationship there. Anyways, that's for another video. Let's just talk more ongoing, you guys. So drop some comments. Let me know how you're doing, how this message landed with you today, and what patterns maybe you've moved on from, or what you are wanting to relieve yourself from. You can type hypnotherapy and I'll send you the link. We'll chat soon.